to Love Your Food. This week we have a follow-on to the bechamel and mornay sauce we did last week, and we're going to be making some macaroni and cheese out of it this week. So we're going to add, of course, some pasta to this. We're also going to add another cheese, and we're going to show you our method for these really simple dish. So here's our ingredients. We're starting with some macaroni. We have some mozzarella, we have some cheddar, and we have some Gruyère cheese. We have some milk and some cream. You'll remember those from the bechamel episode, along with the flour and the butter that we're making the roux from. And we're also going to add some breadcrumbs. And as we did in the other episode, we will show you the hot sauce we used, a little bit of Tabasco sauce, and also just a dash of some dry vermouth. So we're going to start by getting our pasta ready. So we add our pasta to our rolling boil water. The water should be salted but not oiled, and give it a good stir, and then put the lid on. And you just want to cook this till it's al dente. It's going to cook a little bit more once we bake it in the sauce as well. In the meantime, we are going to get going on our sauce. I'm just going to speed through this because we will link you to the full mornay and bechamel episode at the end of this video. So if you remember this, just a really quick roux with the butter and flour. We add our milk and cream. And give that a good stir. And once that is thickened, we are going to turn the heat down and let that simmer down for a while to make sure the flour is completely cooked and it is thickened nicely. And while that's simmering, we're going to prepare our pan for the macaroni and cheese. So we're going to get some butter, and we're going to line our pan with some of this butter as well. And then once that is done, we are also going to line the pan with those breadcrumbs that we showed you earlier, with most of them. You want to reserve some because some of those breadcrumbs are going to go on top as well. So a good dollop of those breadcrumbs on there. We want to give a nice thin little coating of breadcrumbs. This helps release your mac and cheese when you're serving. It makes it just a little bit easier. And you can reserve whatever doesn't stick down. And that can go on top. So there is your pan prepared for your dish. Then we're going to add our cheese to our mornay sauce, to our bechamel sauce, to make it a mornay sauce. And this is just going to melt into the sauce really nicely. And we're going to make sure that we get our sauce really nice and smooth once it's all melted. So this is the cheddar and the Gruyère cheese. We're reserving the mozzarella for the top of the baked dish. So we just get that well combined and make sure it's all well blended. Do remember to keep an eye on your pasta. When it's al dente, you don't want it overcooked. When it's al dente, you can drain it and set it aside. So once this is mostly melted, we're going to season this a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of fresh black pepper. And a nice little dash of our hot sauce. This is Tabasco we're using here. You can also use the fermented pepper relish that we use, but you just want to use just a tiny amount. And a tiny dash of dry vermouth. We like to just add that little bit of acid with the Tabasco and the vermouth. Really, really excellent. And give that a good stir, making sure that everything is well combined. You can see how lovely and thick that is, and it's getting really nice and smooth as well. Remember, if you're using a plastic spatula or scraper, that it is temperature safe. You want to make sure that this is a silicone temperature safe one. So once that's nice and smooth, everything's well combined, we can add our pasta directly into here. So if it's had a good long time to drain, It's better if there are no little pockets of water inside the macaronis. You can use other kinds of pasta for this as well. Those long twisted ones called Scooby-Doo are really excellent for this. And honestly, this is macaroni and cheese already. You can serve it like this. If what you're used to is like a craft dinner or one of those boxed macaroni and cheeses, you could stop here, and this is already an excellent macaroni and cheese dish. But we're going to go a little further. So we're going to put this into our casserole dish that we've already prepared with butter and breadcrumbs. And you just want to make sure you get that all out of the pot. That cheese sauce is incredibly rich. It's really delicious. You don't want to leave any behind. And just make sure that that is all nicely even in there. It's all the way to the edges. And once you have that nice and even, we are going to add our mozzarella cheese. So we're just going to grate that over top here. And we like this to be pretty generous. We're going to add a fair amount of this mozzarella on top here. This is a great melting cheese, and it'll brown up a little bit under the heat or under the broiler as well. So again, you just want to make sure that everything's nice and even on there. And then on top of that, we're just going to add a nice little dusting of those breadcrumbs. So we're just using regular breadcrumbs. Actually, we made these ourselves. They keep for quite a long time. And just dust any off of the handles. You don't want those to burn. And then that's going to go into your oven. And as usual, all of the times and temperatures are going to be in the description below. And when it's done, it's going to look something like this. If you want to take it further than this, you can just pop it under the broiler very briefly. You want to make sure you keep a close eye on it. But this is basically done. You can see it's sizzling around the edges. It's really, really delicious. Absolutely fantastic. Very simple American classic dish, macaroni and cheese. And that's it. Super, super simple. Really, really rich. You can customize that with your own cheeses, obviously, and that's it. So if you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. If you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.